Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Deborah, and today I'm starting on a brand new junk journal, and I was hoping that if anybody wants to, that they can create the same journal along with me. So I'll be giving you instructions on what you need, but you don't have to use what I'm using. You can use whatever you have, but of course I'm using mainly Tim Holtz because I have a lot of Tim Holtz. So my idea is to create a journal with some rings. So I pulled these rings out of the cupboard that I've had sitting there for years, and I thought I could use them. Now if you don't have rings, they come in various sizes, but if you don't have them, you can just use a binding method, or you could punch some holes and thread some ribbon through, or whatever you want to do. I just want to use the rings. I also have got out some file folders, and I'm using my what they call third cut. So I've got a top tab, a bottom tab and a center tab, and I'll be cutting this up. And what I'm basing this whole thing on is these Tim Holtz pieces. Now he does so many pieces that are quite large, like these ones. I've chosen this one for my cover, and these are quite a thick, heavy card. And that's what I'm kind of going to be using in the journal along with book pages. And the reason that I'm using the file folders is I intend to put book page over the top of those to create a page in this. Now because it's ring bound, obviously it needs holes, so I've got my big bite out to punch my holes, but it also needs to be quite sturdy. Like I couldn't put a piece of tea-dyed paper or even a book page in here, because as soon as you turn it, it's likely going to rip, which is why I've chosen to use these and the baseboard as the two sort of two pieces that I will use, or various pieces of those that I will use as the base. So I've got things like the bingo cards, these ones, I've got all sorts of things out actually. I've just flooded my table with stuff. And I have all these little packets with the Tim Holtz stuff in them that I'll be using for decorating. And because I find it really hard sometimes to use these larger pieces. And they're so lovely, I don't just want to have them sit here in their packets. The other things that I've got out, just in case you want to know, is I have, of course, some paper dolls. And I have chosen my paper dolls that I don't have that many of and that I've never seen too many of. Like this one, this girl in this really cool coat. I love that coat. A few little Halloween ones and various other things where I've only ever seen a couple in the packet, because I don't think I've used very many of these at all, and as you see I've only got 2 or 3 in each packet. So I'll be using those, dipping into those. I also have some quote chips, so these are the large ones. And that's not a quote chip, but anyway, these are the quote chips here. And as well as that, I have pulled out some Tim Holtz baseboards. Now these are like the baseboard dolls and the junk drawer and things like that, but again, super heavy. So actually I might change my mind and use one of those for the cover. And again, they come in various sizes, and it's a similar pictures and images to what's on the other things that he does. It's just these are baseboards. So I might have to think about that, because I do want something that's quite large as the cover. I'll have a think about what I'm going to use as the cover. And also I've got some salvaged tags. So these are the different tags, or not that one, but these ones are the salvaged tags. Got a few bits out of in the wrong box at the moment. And things like this, these little ticket books, this here, which is the urban collection of layers, some wallpaper, some various little books, that's the Halloween, the clipping sticker book, the other curiosities book, and of course a book, an actual real book. So I'm using this really old one that's here. And with all this mess on my table, I now have to move it off because we need to get started. So I'll do this over several videos, I think. I'm not going to be able to do it all in one. And I also have some much larger rings. So if I run out of space on this ring, I can upgrade it to the larger ring. I just thought I'd start with those ones. So let's just move stuff out of the way now and get started. So I guess my first thing is, what am I going to use for the cover? I think I'll stick with this because I want something that's going to be large enough. Now, if you're wanting to follow along and you don't have this particular Tim Holtz item, I'll measure it out for you so you can get something similar or cut something similar. So it's 4.5 inches and it's just over 5.5. It's probably 5 5/8 of an inch. So, you know, and a little bit wider than 4.5 inches too, you can see there on the ruler. So that's the plan. And the first thing after that I need to work out is where I want the ring to go. Because obviously when I'm looking at decorating the back and the front, obviously I'm not going to leave all of this plain. I need to be careful because I'm going to have rings in here. So let's get that ruler back again, if I can find what I did with it, and just measure where we want these rings. Now, it probably needs to come in. You don't want your hole sitting right on the edge because it might rip over time. And I'm really not sure if I'm even going to put eyelets in these, but I'll just punch them for now, and then that will let me know where they're going to be. And then I'll measure that up on the other things that I do. So not every page is going to be this wide because obviously everything I have isn't this wide. You know, I might use some skinnier pieces like that. I don't really know yet. There's no plan as usual. So I think I will come in 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom of this piece, and then about 1/2 inch in from the edge, and that should be enough. I might just push it out a tiny bit more. I don't want to push it out too much because I don't want to encroach on that writing. I'm going to make a mark at the 1 inch and then slide my ruler up, and there's my mark. I couldn't even see it then, but I've just managed to see it now. And then make a mark again at the 1 inch. Okay, so now I'll grab the big bite, and I'm going to go with the 3/16 of an inch in terms of the size of this particular hole, because I've got eyelets that are 3/16 of an inch. I've also got smaller eyelets, but I think definitely with the ring we will need 3/16 of an inch. And I've pushed it up to be, I think that's about 1 inch from the back. Looking at this, 3/16. No, that's right to the second last notch. So it's at the 1/2 inch mark, which is about what I measured. So that should come out roughly in situ. That's only just touching. So it looks like it's going to punch like here on this side of the hole. I want to push it that way a bit more, so I'm going to come in another half or 1 click of my thing so I get it where that's better. So I'm basically now, the mark I made is in the center of that hole I'm about to punch. You can see there. And then I just have to find that other one and push it up against the guide so I get it in exactly the same spot in terms of distance from this edge here. So they're the first pieces, and now I'll show you when hopefully this ring will fit through. Should fit through easily, and it does. And then I'll have 2 rings. So to stop the ring bouncing around, I'm going to make it a fairly thick journal, but really I haven't really done this before, so I'll play it by ear and I'll just work through pages, and I'll do a few pages each video, and then you can follow along with me if you want to. And if you do follow along with me, then please let me know that you're following. And I'd like to know if anyone else is going to be doing this with me. So the next step would be to grab some book page. So this is just a really old book that I've got, and I want to take a couple out. Now when I pack up today, so I do try and pack up every day, I will put all this into the one tub so that I know what I'm working on, because I'm hoping that I can get quite a few pages done on it and have it finished up then. I do have a number of other things I'm working on. As you know, I've got my Dream Tiles journal. I also have a couple of things that I've had there for a long time. I started a year and a half ago and I haven't finished. So I'm going to get those out at some point too. Probably not this week, but at some point. So although this would be ideal for journaling on, I'm going to cover it, I think, because I don't really want to have it so that it's white like that. And the other thing I will be adding is some lace and some fabric. I haven't got any of that out yet because there's just no room on the table. So I think what I'll do is I'll make a couple of base pieces and see how we go, and then I'll come back and, you know, maybe put some other stuff down with lace and what have you. So I'll just work like that because, you know, as usual, there is no plan. I think you'd be shocked if I had a plan. I just don't do plans. So let's just rip this off. So it's going to be fairly grungy, fairly junk journaly, and that's really hard to rip that off there because it's too thin on that edge there. I haven't quite left enough room to rip it off. I might have to cut it. That's okay too. I can just trim it using the edge of the piece. And also this one here. Just give that a bit of a trim down. And of course I am going to be inking as I go along. Now once I've put that on there, of course, I can either manually punch a hole or I can go back and punch through that hole. And the reason for making sure I've done that is that I don't want to end up having stuck something over the hole and then wondering where my hole's gone when I go to use it. I have this piece of tea bag here, which I thought I might put over here somehow. Not sure if I want that on there. If I want to cut it down maybe. I think I'll just give it a quick chop in half. And then I've got this little thing here, which I'll do as a bit of a pocket thing here. So when I put this one down, I'm just going to go with the pocket on this piece here. So it will be actually behind this, and it's sticking because that's come through the tea bag. That's okay. I'll just put this down here. When I put the glue on the tea bag, it bled through because it's very thin, of course, so it didn't actually stay where I wanted it to stay. Never mind. Now the other beauty of doing this is because they are individual pages, I can decorate them up like this and then I can take them to the sewing machine and sew them. So I will be doing that as well. Now in the spirit of recycling, I put these bits of lace down on something and they hasn't quite worked on what I was going to try and make. So I have now pulled them off and I will be using them in this journal. There were just a few of them. I was trying to do something. Look, not everything always works, so it had to come off again and I pulled it off, and now I'm a lot happy that I've done that because I didn't like what I'd done. I think that's enough for now. As I said, I will be sewing and doing some more stuff on them as I go through. Now the next piece, I think I'm going to do this piece here. So this will be the file folder, and I'll want to have the tab. So it's not going to be as wide as this piece because I want to use this tab piece here. So I just need to make sure that I put this on the edge, and then let's draw around it and I'll go and cut it. Now, it's only because I want the tabbed piece that I'm cutting it, but these pieces here I can use for tags and things like that, and definitely this piece can become another page because you can see it's actually the correct size almost perfectly for this. And some things will stick out because some things I have are slightly bigger than this piece. That one's a bit smaller, but anyway, I think you get the idea. I'm just going to work my way through now and I will turn this around. The reason why I'm refolding it is I will cut this in the cutter, and that will cut this tab here at the same time. So I'll just pop and do that, and I might do some sewing and come back with some more lace and things. I'm just sewing that along the edge just with some zigzag. I didn't end up sewing it down here, and I think I will make a tag or something to pop into this pocket so I get the page finished. But I want to put something else on the front cover, and what I've got here is the lining, or the, you know, like the underpiece from a child's christening gown. So it's quite sweet. It's got some little scalloped edging on it and a little bit of embroidery, and I thought maybe I would make like a little pocket on the front cover here. And I've also got my needle and thread out, which I mustn't lose because I'm going to do some sewing. Got a few other bits and bobs out, and I think I need to get some work done so that I can get through some of the stuff that's on my table here. So I'm just looking at which piece I can use for this. It's only tiny, it's a 000, and I just got it from an op shop. Oh look, it's got a little button on the top. I didn't realise that. It had a little buttonhole and a button up there. Maybe I'll use that piece. I might use that piece elsewhere because it was wanting to go to that side, and I really wanted the pocket on this side. But maybe, where's the buttonhole piece? No, I think I'll just cut a piece and use it. So I should get my other scissors out, but I'll just see how it goes. I was hanging this piece of the christening dress, which I've got the rest of it there, in my room, but I decided that I don't really have room for anything like that anymore, so it has to go. So I'm going to cut it up. I think I'm going to do no embroidery, just this piece back here, so I can turn it up this way. I'm fiddling a bit, sorry, I need to work out what I'm going to do, and sometimes it takes a little longer than other times. So yeah, if I just use that piece, I might go and cut it with my good scissors, and then if I fold it over like that, I can make a piece, and I may put the shoulder on top of it. So I'll just pop and do that. I've sewn this on. Once again, I haven't brought my sewing scissors to the table, but never mind, I'll just use these ones and trim it off. Just put that little bit of trim down here and created a pocket. Just not worrying too much about how neat it is on the edges. And I want to put something on it because now it's looking a little plain on the edge. So that's just a little dangle that I've put on there. Just, I think it's something from my jewellery making days. It may not be, it may be a craft item. I really have no idea. It's just a little pearly dangle. You can see there. So I've just stitched that onto the edge of that. And I think now I'll do a pocket for the outside. Now I think with the pocket, I'm probably going to, sorry, not a pocket, a tag. I think I'm going to make something that's, you know, not a pre-made, because it'll contrast against that if I do that. So first of all, I need to chop this piece down. Let's get this, I think, to like maybe this height here. It's already got the thing on top, so I'll just make it into a tag shape, and that will sit in there. Let's do something on top of it, like some book page maybe. Where are my book pages? Here. I will put a hole in it because I'll put an eyelet in it. So I just need to work out where the centre is. It's around just under 3 inches, so it's going to be somewhere here. I want that eyelet to go. See, I haven't got any eyelets on the table at the moment, but I will put some on do that afterwards. And then I want to put something on top of it, because it is a little bit not quite stiff enough for me. I want it a bit thicker because it's going to sit on the front page like that. So I will actually put something that is pre-made on it. I just have to find out what. Maybe I can do a little doll on it, or a group of dolls. They'll be too big. I have to find something that's a wee bit smaller. They're too big. All too big. What about this one? It might have some little ones in it. And the other thing that I'll put in here will be a quote or some sort of a word. I'll have a look what I've got in a moment. I think I'll choose cast of characters. Looks like it needs something else, doesn't it? Let's see what else I've got in one of these books or something. Maybe in here or in this one actually. They're just words that I've got in here. What about that keyhole? Oh, I want it straight. I don't want it to stick because it'll just rip on the paper if I try and pull it up. That's better. Much better. And then again I'll find an eyelet. I'll set the eyelet in there, and then I will then put some ribbon or something through it. So that's fine. And then this one here, I want a tag to go in here too, or something to go in here. I have another pack of these things which are tickets. Maybe I can pop a couple of these tickets in here. I think that would be quite good. Let's rip this one out. And then this one too. So I've got that colour. And it won't get lost because it won't go in that far, but I'll just keep it out a little bit. And what other colour do I want? Maybe I'll just do this one next to it. You get that really nice torn look when you tear these off. See there, that's quite good. Let me get that in focus for you. It's trying to focus and it can't. Sorry. I did want to show you. See the torn edge there? It's really nice. So we'll put the two tickets in there. And I think that page is done except for that eyelet and something to put in there. So that's page 1. And I will just put them onto the ring, just the top ring for now, so that I can keep them all on here, and then I'll be able to put them in later. So that's number 1. Let's pop that out of the way. And I think that's enough actually. I think I've been going for quite a while now. Probably won't be when it gets to your end, but on my end, because I've been making decisions about what I want and sewing and cutting things. So I think that's enough, and I will come back probably in the next video, and I will do the next page while I've got everything out on the table. And I hope that you're following along with me. So until then, this is Deborah. Thank you for watching. Cheers.